Have you ever felt like something is missing in your life? Like you're meant for more, but you don't know how to reach it? If so, you're not alone. Every smart woman starts with a moment, a realization that she is no longer willing to settle. That moment is now. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to step into your power and become the woman you were always meant to be. So stay with me until the end, because what you'll learn today could change everything. Right now, you might be stuck in self-doubt, stuck in fear, stuck in a life that feels too small for you. But here's the truth. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you confidence. No one is going to give you permission to change your life. That decision, it belongs to you. And the moment you understand this, everything shifts. Think about the women who inspire you, the ones who seem unstoppable, confident, and in control. Do you think they were born that way? Absolutely not. Every single one of them had a moment just like this. A moment where they looked at their life and said, enough, I'm ready to take control. That's the moment that separates those who stay stuck from those who rise. Maybe you've been waiting for the right time, waiting for someone to believe in you, waiting to feel ready. But let me tell you something powerful. Waiting is a trap. There is no perfect moment. There is no ready. There is only now. And the smartest women in the world, they don't wait. They decide, they act, they move forward even when they're scared. And fear is normal. Fear is part of growth. But fear doesn't have to control you. Right now, your mind might be filled with doubt. What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if people judge me? But ask yourself this. What if you never try? What if you let another year, another 5 years, another decade slip away and you're still standing in the same place? That should scare you more than failure ever could. Because here's what no one tells you. The most dangerous thing in life isn't failure, it's regret. Regret is the feeling of looking back and knowing you could have done more, been more, lived more, but you didn't. And that is a pain far worse than any temporary failure. So today, right now, you have a choice. You can let fear win. You can stay in the same cycle, telling yourself the same excuses, or you can decide that this is your wake-up call. That from this moment forward, you will step into the life you deserve. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Because the difference between an ordinary life and an extraordinary one is simple: action. Small daily decisions that push you forward. The smartest women in the world don't have superpowers. They have a mindset. A mindset that says, I am capable, I am strong, and I refuse to settle. And here's the good news. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to be fearless. You just need to take one step. Just one. Because one step leads to another. And before you know it, you're no longer the woman who doubted herself. You're the woman who took control. So let this be your moment. Let this be the day you stop waiting and start becoming. Because if you stay with me until the end of this video, you'll learn the 7 principles that will make you unstoppable. Principles that the smartest, most successful women in the world live by. And once you apply them, your life will never be the same. Now, are you ready to step into your power? Then let's begin. Most people go through life on autopilot. They wake up, follow the same routine, do what's expected of them, and never stop to ask, is this the life I truly want? But smart women, they don't just exist, they live with intention. And that starts with one thing: self-awareness. Because here's the truth. Until you understand who you really are, you will always live according to what others expect from you. You will chase goals that don't fulfill you. You will stay in situations that drain you. You will settle for a life that was never meant for you. But the moment you decide to stop looking outward for answers and start looking inward, everything changes. So ask yourself, who am I really? Not the version of you that pleases others, not the version of you that plays small to avoid judgment. The real you, the one with dreams, the one with fire, the one who knows deep down that she is meant for more. Because the problem isn't that you're lost. The problem is that you've been disconnected from yourself for too long. Maybe you've spent years being the person others wanted you to be. The good daughter, the perfect friend, the woman who never says no. And in doing so, you forgot what you truly want. But let me remind you, your life is yours. Your dreams, they matter. Your desires, They are not selfish. The moment you stop waiting for permission to be yourself, you become unstoppable. And this is where most people get stuck. They don't take the time to understand themselves, so they end up chasing the wrong things. They believe success is about looking a certain way, having a certain job, or being accepted by others. But real success is waking up every day feeling aligned, knowing you are living life on your terms. That kind of confidence doesn't come from external validation. It comes from knowing yourself so deeply that no one's opinion can shake you. And the smartest women in the world? They build their lives based on who they are, not who the world tells them to be. So how do you do that? How do you break free from the expectations, the pressure, the noise? It starts with asking yourself the right questions. What excites me? What drains me? What do I love? What do I hate? What would I do if I had no fear of failure? Because when you start answering these questions honestly, you'll see patterns. You'll notice what lights you up and what doesn't. You'll recognize the parts of your life that no longer fit. And that awareness, that's your power. Because once you know who you are, you stop wasting time. You stop saying yes to things that don't align with you. You stop shrinking yourself to fit into places that were never meant for you. And yes, that means you might outgrow certain people. You might let go of old habits. You might walk away from things that once felt familiar. But that's the price of growth. The only way to step into the next level of your life is to leave behind everything that's holding you back. And here's the secret. When you become self-aware, life gets easier. Decisions become clear. You stop second-guessing yourself because you know exactly what's right for you. You trust yourself. You stop looking for answers in other people because you realize you already have them within you. That's the power of self-awareness. It's not about being perfect. It's about being real. It's about being brave enough to know yourself and bold enough to live as that woman every single day. So take a moment, breathe, ask yourself, who am I becoming? And if the answer doesn't excite you, then it's time to change the story. Because you right now have the power to redefine your life. Not tomorrow, not someday, today, now. Are you ready to step into your truth? Then let's keep going. Most people believe confidence is something you're born with, that some women just have it and others don't. But that's not true. Confidence is not a gift, it's a decision. And the smartest women in the world, they don't wait to feel confident. They choose to act before they feel ready. Think about it. How many times have you held yourself back because you didn't feel confident enough? How many opportunities have you let slip away because you thought you weren't ready? But here's what no one tells you. Confidence doesn't come before action. It comes from action. Look at any strong, successful woman. Do you think she was fearless when she started? Do you think she had everything figured out? No, she was just like you. She had doubts, she had insecurities, but she made one powerful choice. She moved forward anyway. Because confidence isn't built by sitting still. It's built by showing up. It's built every time you push through discomfort. Every time you do something that scares you, every time you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your fears. And fear is the biggest liar you will ever meet. It will tell you that you're not good enough, that you're not smart enough, that you're not ready. But fear doesn't see your potential. Fear only sees the past. It only knows what's familiar, what's safe. And confidence is built the moment you step outside that comfort zone. Think about the first time you tried something new. Maybe it was speaking in public, taking on a challenge, or walking into a room full of strangers. You probably felt nervous. Your heart raced. Your mind was filled with doubt. But you did it anyway. And after, you realized it wasn't as scary as you thought. That's how confidence is built, not through waiting, but through doing. Most people never reach their full potential because they believe they need confidence first. They tell themselves, I'll start when I feel ready. But here's the truth. You will never feel ready. Readiness is a myth. The only way to become confident is to start before you feel ready. So stop waiting. Stop thinking that confidence is something that magically appears. Instead, decide. Decide to believe in yourself. Decide to take action, even when you're afraid. Decide to trust that you are capable of handling whatever comes next. Because confidence isn't about knowing you will succeed. It's about knowing that even if you fail, you will be okay. That failure isn't the end, it's a lesson. Every mistake, every setback, every awkward moment is just another step toward the woman you are becoming. And the most powerful thing, the more you act, the more confident you become. It's a cycle. Action builds confidence. Confidence leads to more action. And before you know it, you're no longer the woman who hesitates. You're the woman who goes after what she wants. But here's what separates smart women from the rest. They don't fake confidence. They build it. They show up, they try, they fail, they learn. And with every challenge, they grow stronger. So ask yourself, what have you been avoiding because you don't feel confident enough? What dream have you been putting on hold because you're waiting to feel ready? Now imagine this. You stop waiting. You take the first step. You embrace the discomfort. And a month from now, a year from now, you're looking back at this moment and realizing it was the day everything changed. Because confidence is not a feeling, it's a choice. And today, you get to make that choice. Now, are you ready to step into your power? Then let's keep going. Confidence is built through action. But do you know what destroys confidence faster than anything else? Allowing the wrong people, the wrong situations, and the wrong energy to take over your life. That's why every smart woman follows one rule. She protects her boundaries. Because here's the truth. Your time, your energy, your peace, they are priceless. And yet, so many women give them away too easily. They say yes when they want to say no. They tolerate disrespect. They overextend themselves to please everyone else. And in the process, they lose themselves. But the moment you start setting boundaries, everything changes. You stop seeking approval from people who don't value you. You stop allowing others to drain your energy. You stop bending yourself to fit into spaces that don't deserve you. And that is power. So ask yourself, where in your life do you feel drained? Where do you feel resentment? Where do you feel like you're constantly giving but getting nothing in return? Those are the places that need boundaries. Because a smart woman understands this. When you say yes to things that don't serve you, you are saying no to yourself, no to your growth, no to your happiness, no to the life you truly want. And let's be honest, setting boundaries isn't easy. At first, it will feel uncomfortable. People won't like it when you stop being the version of you that always puts them first. They will question you. They might even try to make you feel guilty. But listen closely. The people who truly respect you will never be offended by your boundaries. And the ones who do, they were never meant to stay. The smartest women in the world are not afraid to say no. They don't explain themselves. They don't apologize for protecting their energy. They know that every time they say no to something that drains them, they are saying yes to something that fuels them. And the most powerful thing, boundaries are not just about saying no to others. They're about saying yes to yourself. Yes to more time for what matters. Yes to relationships that uplift you. Yes to a life that feels good, not just looks good. Because the truth is, you don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. You don't have to answer every message right away. You don't have to carry the weight of other people's expectations. You get to choose what you allow into your life. And once you understand that, you become unstoppable. So the next time someone tries to guilt trip you into doing something that doesn't align with you, pause, take a deep breath, and remind yourself, you are not responsible for their feelings. You are responsible for your own well-being. And yes, some people will walk away. Some relationships will change. But don't fear that. Celebrate it. Because when you set boundaries, you filter out the people who were only in your life because they could take advantage of you. And in their place, you create space for the right people. Those who respect you, value you, and see you for who you truly are. So here's the challenge. Starting today, stop over-explaining. Stop justifying your boundaries. Stop feeling guilty for putting yourself first. You are not here to make everyone else comfortable at the cost of your own happiness. You are here to live a life that feels right for you. Because a smart woman knows protecting her peace is not selfish. It's necessary. And once you master this, your life will never be the same. Now, are you ready to step into your power? Then let's keep going. There's a simple but powerful truth that every smart woman understands, Every time you say yes to something that doesn't serve you, you are saying no to yourself. And the difference between women who take control of their lives and those who feel exhausted, drained, and stuck, the ability to say no without guilt. Because here's what no one tells you. Your energy is your most valuable resource. You can't get it back once it's wasted. And yet, so many women give it away to things that don't align with their goals, their values, or their happiness. They say yes out of obligation. They say yes because they don't want to disappoint others. They say yes because they've been taught that being a good person means always being available. But here's the truth. Saying yes to everyone else while saying no to yourself is a form of self-betrayal. And if you keep doing it, you will wake up one day feeling completely drained, wondering why your life doesn't feel like your own. A smart woman doesn't let that happen. She knows that no is not a bad word. It is a full sentence. It does not require an explanation. It does not require guilt. It does not make her selfish. It makes her intentional. So ask yourself, how many times have you agreed to do something you didn't want to do just to avoid making someone else uncomfortable? How many times have you put your own needs last because you didn't want to upset anyone? How many times have you ignored that little voice inside that told you, this is not right for me? That stops today. Because every time you ignore your own needs to please someone else, you are sending yourself a dangerous message that other people's comfort is more important than your own well-being. And that is not the mindset of a smart, powerful woman. The moment you start saying no without guilt, your life changes. You free yourself from unnecessary stress. You create space for what actually matters. You attract people who respect your time, your energy, and your worth. And here's the thing. People might not like it at first. They might push back. They might try to make you feel guilty. But listen carefully. People who love and respect you will understand. And the ones who don't, they were only in your life because they benefited from your lack of boundaries. A smart woman doesn't fear losing people. She fears losing herself. So here's your challenge. Practice saying no. Not with excuses, not with guilt, just no. If someone asks you to do something you don't want to do, instead of scrambling for an excuse, try this. That doesn't work for me. I appreciate you asking, but I'm not available. I'm focusing on myself right now, so I'll have to pass. That's it. No explanation, no justification, because you don't owe anyone a reason for protecting your energy. The most powerful women in the world, they don't run around trying to please everyone. They don't sacrifice their happiness just to be nice. They know that every yes must be intentional. Every yes must align with their goals, their peace, and their purpose. So today, make a decision. Stop being the woman who is always available for everyone else, but never for herself. Start being the woman who values her own time, her own energy, and her own happiness. Because when you do that, you don't just gain back your time, you gain back your power. Now, are you ready to step into the strongest version of yourself? Then let's keep going. Saying no without guilt is powerful. But what separates smart, successful women from the rest is what happens after they set their boundaries. Because boundaries are meaningless if you don't have the discipline to follow through. Think about it. How many times have you told yourself you were done with something only to go back? How many times have you promised yourself that you would stop overcommitting, stop wasting time, stop letting people take advantage of you, only to fall back into old patterns? This is where most people fail. They want to change. They set the intention, but when the moment comes to follow through, they hesitate. They second guess. They break the promise they made to themselves. And here's what no one tells you. Every time you do that, you are training your mind not to trust yourself. You are reinforcing the belief that your own word doesn't matter. And once you lose trust in yourself, confidence, success, and happiness become impossible. A smart woman doesn't let that happen. When she sets a boundary, she honors it. When she makes a commitment to herself, she follows through. Because she understands one thing. Discipline is the bridge between who she is and who she wants to be. And discipline isn't about motivation. Motivation is temporary. It fades. It disappears the moment things get uncomfortable. But discipline is what keeps you going when motivation is gone. So the real question is, do you have the discipline to back up your boundaries? Do you have the strength to walk away when someone disrespects your no? Do you have the courage to sit with discomfort instead of giving in to old habits? Do you have the self-respect to choose your peace over someone else's approval? Because here's what separates women who succeed from those who don't. They don't negotiate with their own standards. They don't say, maybe just this once. They don't let guilt talk them out of their own decision. They don't break their own promises. And yes, it's hard. Growth is uncomfortable. It's easier to slip back into old patterns. It's easier to say, I'll start tomorrow. But a smart woman knows that every time she breaks a promise to herself, she is setting herself back. And every time she keeps that promise, she is stepping into the woman she is meant to be. So ask yourself, where in your life are you negotiating your own stand? Where are you allowing excuses to take over? Where are you choosing comfort over growth? Because once you see it, you can change it. And that's the real power. When you stop waiting for motivation, when you stop making excuses, and when you start showing up for yourself no matter what. Because discipline is not a punishment. It's an act of self-love. It's how you prove to yourself every single day that you are capable, that you are strong, that you deserve the life you want. So starting today, make a decision. No more bending your boundaries. No more negotiating your standards. No more breaking your own promises, because the moment you commit to following through, that's the moment your life changes. Now, are you ready to step into your power? Then let's keep going. Discipline is the key to following through on your boundaries, but there's one thing that will challenge your discipline more than anything else: your emotion. Think about it. How many times have you made a strong decision only to let fear, doubt, or guilt pull you back? How many times have you wanted to stand your ground, but your emotions got in the way? This is why smart women master emotional control. They don't let temporary feelings dictate their long-term success. They don't let fear stop them from taking action. They don't let guilt manipulate them into breaking their own boundaries. Because here's what no one tells you. Your emotions are real, but they are not always right. Fear will try to keep you small even when you're meant for more. Guilt will try to convince you that prioritizing yourself is selfish. Doubt will make you question your abilities, even when you are more than capable. And if you don't learn to control these emotions, they will control you. They will keep you stuck. They will make you hesitate when you should take action. They will make you apologize when you should stand firm. A smart woman understands that emotions are temporary, but the consequences of acting on them can be permanent. So, what do? How do you stop your emotions from running your life? You pause. Before reacting, before making a decision, before letting fear or guilt take over, you pause. You give yourself space to think, to breathe, to separate feeling from truth. Because feelings are not facts. Just because you feel guilty doesn't mean you did something wrong. Just because you feel afraid doesn't mean you're in danger. Just because you feel like you're not good enough doesn't mean it's true. When you learn to pause and observe your emotions instead of reacting to them, you take back your power. You stop being a slave to fear. You stop being controlled by guilt. You stop letting your feelings dictate your future. And here's the most powerful part. When you learn to manage your emotions, you become unshakable. No one can guilt trip you into doing things that don't serve you. No one can manipulate you with their opinions. No one can push you into reacting out of anger, fear, or insecurity, because you are in control. And once you master emotional control, everything changes. You stop making impulsive decisions that you regret later. You stop overthinking every small thing. You stop feeling like you have to prove yourself to anyone. Instead, you move with confidence. You respond with clarity. You stand firm in your choices. So the next time fear tells you to shrink, pause. Remind yourself that growth is uncomfortable, but staying stuck is worse. The next time guilt tries to pull you back, pause. Remember that taking care of yourself is not selfish, it's necessary. And the next time doubt creeps in, pause. Remind yourself of everything you have already overcome. Because a smart woman doesn't let her emotions control her. She feels them, she acknowledges them, but she decides what happens next. And that is true power. Now, are you ready to take control of your mind? Then let's keep going. Mastering emotional control gives you power over your reactions. But there's one thing that separates truly unstoppable women from those who hesitate, overthink, and hold themselves back: unbreakable self-confidence. Because here's the truth: no one is born confident. Confidence is built. It's a skill, and like any skill, it grows through action, through failure, and through proving to yourself over and over again that you are capable. Most people wait for confidence before they take action. They think, once I feel ready, I'll start. Once I believe in myself, I'll go for it. But that's not how confidence works. Confidence comes from action. The only way to believe in yourself is to see yourself doing the things that scare you. A smart woman understands this. She doesn't sit around waiting to feel confident. She creates confidence by taking action before she feels ready. She pushes herself out of her comfort zone, even when she's afraid. She speaks up, even when her voice shakes. She takes the leap, even when she doubts herself. Because every time she takes action, she builds evidence that she can. And the more evidence she collects, the stronger her confidence becomes. Now ask yourself, how many times have you held yourself back because you didn't feel confident enough? How many opportunities have you missed because you were waiting for the fear to go away? How many times have you let doubt talk you out of the life you want? That ends today. From this moment forward, you stop waiting to feel ready. You stop waiting for fear to disappear. You stop looking for permission. Because the truth is, no one is coming to hand you confidence. No one is coming to tell you that you're good enough. No one is coming to make you believe in yourself. That is your job. And the only way to do it is to take action now. Confidence is built when you show up, even when it's uncomfortable. It's built when you take risks, even when you might fail. It's built when you trust yourself, even when the outcome is uncertain. And yes, you will fail sometimes. You will make mistakes. You will have moments of doubt. But here's what makes a smart woman different. She doesn't let failure define her. She doesn't see doubt as a stop sign. She doesn't make fear an excuse. She understands that confidence is not the absence of fear, it's the decision to keep going despite fear. So what's stopping you? Fear of failure? Fear of what people might think? Fear that you're not good enough? Let's get one thing clear. Fear is a liar. It tells you that you can't when you can. It tells you that you're not ready when you are. It tells you to stay small when you are meant for more. And the only way to shut it down is to prove it wrong. So today, make a commitment to take action no matter what. To do the thing you've been avoiding, to start before you feel ready. Because every time you do, you take back your power. And the more you do it, the more unstoppable you become. Confidence is not something you wait for. It's something you build. And once you build it, no one can take it away. Now, are you ready to step into the strongest version of yourself? Then let's keep going. Confidence is built through action. But what turns confidence into unstoppable success? Relentless consistency. Most people start strong. They take action for a few days, a few weeks, maybe even a few months. But then life happens. They get tired. They get distracted, they stop showing up, and that's where they fail. Because success isn't about doing something once, it's about doing it over and over again, even when it's boring, even when it's hard, even when no one is watching. A smart woman understands that consistency is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. She knows that motivation comes and goes, but discipline is what keeps her moving forward when motivation fades. She doesn't wait until she feels like it. She doesn't let her emotions decide her actions. She doesn't make excuses because she knows one thing. Small actions repeated every single day create massive results. Now ask yourself, how many times have you started something only to quit when it got hard? How many times have you given up before you saw real progress? How many times have you let excuses stop you from becoming the woman you know you can be? That stops today. Starting right now, you commit to showing up every single day. Not just when it's easy, not just when you feel motivated, not just when things are going your way. You show up no matter what. Because every time you follow through on your commitments, you prove to yourself that you are strong. Every time you push through discomfort, you build resilience. Every time you refuse to quit, you get closer to the life you want. And here's what most people don't realize. Consistency isn't just about habits, it's about who you are. Are you the kind of person who sticks to their goals no matter what? Are you the kind of person who keeps their promises to themselves? Are you the kind of person who follows through even when no one is watching? Because that's what determines success. Not luck, not talent, not intelligence, consistency. Think about it. Every strong, successful woman you admire, she got there by doing the hard work, day after day, year after year. Not by magic, not by shortcuts, but by relentless consistency. And if she can do it, so can you. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop letting distractions pull you away. Stop starting and stopping over and over again. Decide today, who do you want to be? A woman who quits when it gets hard, or a woman who keeps going no matter what? Because once you commit to showing up for yourself every single day, that's when everything changes. And that's when you become unstoppable. Now, are you ready to lock in this mindset and take control of your future? Then let's keep going. Consistency makes you unstoppable. But there's one thing that will test your discipline every single day: the expectations of others. How many times have you said yes when you wanted to say no? How many times have you sacrificed your own priorities just to please someone else? How many times have you felt drained, frustrated, or even resentful because you put everyone else's needs above your own? That ends now. A smart woman knows that her time, energy, and focus are her most valuable assets, and she protects them fiercely. She doesn't waste them on things that don't serve her. She doesn't give them away to people who don't respect her boundaries. And most importantly, she doesn't feel guilty for putting herself first. Because here's the truth. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your goals, you are saying no to yourself. And if you don't respect your time, no one else will. Now let's be clear. Saying no doesn't make you selfish. It makes you strong. It means you are clear on your priorities. It means you refuse to let guilt control your decisions. It means you value yourself enough to set boundaries. So why is it so hard? Because as women, we are conditioned to be pleasers. We are taught to be agreeable, to be accommodating, to put everyone else first. And when we don't, we feel guilty. We feel like we're letting people down. We feel like we're being difficult. But here's what you need to understand. People who truly respect you will never be upset by your boundaries. And the ones who are, they're the ones who benefited from you not having any. So today, you stop apologizing. You stop over-explaining. You stop bending over backward to keep everyone else comfortable while you suffer in silence. From now on, when something doesn't serve you, you say no. When something drains your energy, you say no. When something distracts you from your goals, you say no. And you say it with confidence, without guilt, without hesitation, without feeling like you have to justify yourself. Because a smart woman doesn't waste her energy on things that don't matter. She doesn't let other people's opinions dictate her choices. She doesn't live for their approval. She lives for her growth, her peace, her success. Now think about your life. Where do you need to start saying no? Who is draining your energy? What obligations are pulling you away from your goals? What distractions are keeping you stuck? It's time to take your power back. It's time to protect your energy. It's time to stop living for everyone else and start living for you. Because the moment you learn to say no without guilt, that's the moment you step into your true power. And once you do that, nothing can stop you. Now, are you ready to break free from the need to please and step into your strongest self? Then let's keep going. Saying no without guilt gives you control over your time and energy. But what truly separates an average woman from a smart, unstoppable woman? Her mindset. Because here's the truth. Your life is a reflection of your thoughts. If you believe you are capable, you will act like it. If you believe you are limited, you will stay stuck. And this is where most people go wrong. They focus only on external things, skills, habits, opportunities, without realizing that everything starts in the mind. A smart woman doesn't just work on her goals, she works on her thinking. She understands that her thoughts shape her reality. She refuses to let fear, self-doubt, or negativity dictate her future. Now ask yourself, what thoughts are holding you back? Do you tell yourself that you're not smart enough, that you're not experienced enough, that you're too late to start, that success is for other people but not for you? If so, then you need to understand something. Those thoughts are lies. Your brain is wired to keep you safe, not to keep you successful. It wants comfort, predictability, and security. So when you try to grow, when you try to step outside of what you've always known, your mind fights back. It tells you that you can't. It tries to convince you to stop before you even begin. And most people listen, but not you. Not anymore. Because a smart woman recognizes these limiting beliefs for what they are. Barriers that must be broken. So how do you do it? First, you become aware of your thoughts. Pay attention to them. Every time you hear yourself saying, I can't, I'm not good enough, or what if I fail, stop and challenge that thought. Would you talk to a friend the way you talk to yourself? Would you tell someone you love that they're not capable? Would you look at another woman chasing her dreams and say you should just give up? Of course not. So why do you say these things to yourself? From this moment forward, you change the way you speak to yourself. You replace doubt with belief. You replace fear with action. You replace excuses with determination. Because the way you talk to yourself matters. The way you think about yourself matters. And if you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. A smart woman doesn't let her past define her. She doesn't let failures discourage her. She doesn't let fear stop her. She understands that growth comes from discomfort. She embraces challenges, knowing that every struggle makes her stronger. She faces obstacles with the mindset of, this is making me better, this is preparing me for something greater, and she never ever settles. Because she knows that the moment she stops growing, she stops living. So right now, make a decision. Are you going to let fear, doubt, and old beliefs keep you small? Or are you going to rise up and claim the life you deserve? Because once you change your mindset, you change everything. And that is how you become truly unstoppable. Now, are you ready to step fully into this new mindset and create the life you were meant to live? Then let's keep going. A growth mindset changes everything, but there's one thing that still holds most people back. Fear. Fear of failure. Fear of judgment. Fear of not being enough. And the sad truth? Most people let fear control their lives. They let it dictate their choices. They let it keep them stuck in situations they don't even want to be in. But a smart woman, she doesn't let fear win. She understands something most people don't. Fear isn't a stop sign, it's a signal. A signal that she's stepping into something bigger. A signal that she's moving outside her comfort zone. A signal that she's on the edge of growth. And that's why she doesn't run from fear. She uses it. Think about it. Every time you've avoided something because it scared you, what happened? You stayed exactly where you were. You didn't grow. You didn't move forward. You didn't become the person you could have been. That's what fear does when you let it control you. It steals your potential. It keeps you playing small. It convinces you that staying safe is better than taking risks. But here's the truth. If you want to be great, you must do the things that scare you. You must apply for that job you feel unqualified for. You must speak up when your voice shakes. You must take action before you feel ready, because you will never feel ready. Fear will always be there, whispering doubts in your ear. But guess what? It has no real power. The only power fear has is the power you give it. And the moment you stop letting it make your decisions, that's the moment everything changes. So from now on, every time you feel fear creeping in, don't back down. Lean into it. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Because fear is nothing more than a test of how badly you want something, a test of how willing you are to fight for the life you deserve. And the best part, once you face your fears, they lose their grip on you. The things that once seemed impossible become effortless. The situations that used to make you nervous become exciting, because fear is just energy, and you get to decide what to do with it. So tell me, are you going to keep letting fear hold you back? Or are you going to stand up, take control, and turn that fear into power? Because the moment you decide that fear will no longer stop you, that's the moment you become unstoppable. And when you become unstoppable, that's when you finally step into the life you were meant to live. Now, are you ready to push past every fear, every doubt, and every excuse that has ever held you back? Then let's keep going. Fear loses its power the moment you stop hesitating. But here's where most people get stuck. They wait. They wait for the right time. They wait until they feel ready. They wait for the fear to disappear. And in that waiting, they lose days, months, years of their life. But a smart woman, she doesn't wait. She moves. She understands that action is the only way to change her life. Not thinking, not planning, not hoping. Action. Because nothing happens until you take the first step. It doesn't matter how many books you read, and it doesn't matter how many motivational videos you watch. It doesn't matter how much you dream about success. If you don't take action, nothing changes. And this is where the real battle happens, not in your circumstances, not in your opportunities, but in your mind. Because your brain will always try to talk you out of taking action. It will tell you, you're not ready. It will tell you, what if you fail? It will tell you, what if people judge you? But a smart woman knows one thing. Thinking won't get you results. Action will. And the faster you take action, the faster you break through fear, the faster you get momentum, the faster you start seeing real change in your life. Because here's the truth. Success isn't about being the smartest. It's not about being the most talented. It's about being the person who takes action when others hesitate. The person who speaks up in the meeting instead of staying silent. The person who applies for the opportunity before they feel ready. The person who wakes up every single day and moves, even when they don't feel like it. That's what separates the people who succeed from the people who stay stuck. And if you want to be the kind of woman who transforms her life, you must master one thing: immediate action. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. Because every second you wait is a second you could have been moving forward. So right now, what's one thing you've been putting off? That tough conversation? Have it. That big decision? Make it. That bold step toward your dreams? Take it. No more waiting, no more overthinking, no more doubting yourself. Because the moment you start taking action, even in small ways, you prove to yourself that you can. And once you prove that to yourself, nothing will stop you. Now, are you ready to take that first step and step fully into your power? Taking action is the first step. But what truly separates extraordinary women from everyone else? Consistency. Because here's the truth. One big action won't change your life. What changes your life is what you do every single day. Anyone can take action once. Anyone can feel motivated for a moment. Anyone can make a bold decision when they're inspired. But what happens when the excitement fades? What happens when you don't feel like showing up? What happens when things don't go as planned? What happens when results don't come fast enough? This is where most people quit. They stop when it gets hard. They stop when progress is slow. They stop because they don't feel motivated anymore. But a smart woman, she doesn't stop. She keeps going, even when she doesn't feel like it. She understands that discipline is more powerful than motivation, because motivation is unreliable. Some days it's there, some days it's not. And if you only take action when you feel like it, you'll never get anywhere. But discipline guarantees results. Discipline is waking up early even when you want to sleep in. Discipline is doing the work even when no one is watching. Discipline is sticking to your goals even when progress feels slow. And here's the secret. Once you master discipline, you no longer need motivation. You don't wait to feel ready, you just do it. You don't wait for inspiration, you just show up. You don't stop when it gets hard, you push through. Because success isn't built on how you feel, it's built on what you do. So right now, ask yourself, where in your life have you been inconsistent? Your habits, your goals, your commitments? It's time to change that. It's time to show up for yourself every single day, not just when it's easy, not just when it's exciting, every single day. Because consistency is what separates dreamers from achievers. So decide, are you going to be someone who starts and stops? Or are you going to be someone who follows through no matter what? Because the moment you commit to consistency, the moment you refuse to quit, that's when you become unstoppable. Now, are you ready to show up for yourself every single day, no matter what? You've learned how to master your mindset. You've learned how to take action. You've learned how to stay disciplined. But there's one final piece that separates truly successful women from the rest: the refusal to quit. Because let's be real, life will test you. You will face obstacles. You will experience failure. You will have moments where you question everything. And this is where most people give up. They hit a roadblock and they take it as a sign to stop. But a smart woman, she knows better. She understands that every challenge is a test of how badly she wants it. Every failure is just a lesson. Every setback is just part of the journey, because success isn't about never falling. It's about getting back up every single time. Think about the strongest, most successful women in the world. Do you think their journey was easy? Do you think they never faced rejection, never had self-doubt, never wanted to quit? Of course they did. But what makes them different? They kept going. They didn't quit when it got hard. They didn't let failure define them. They didn't stop just because success wasn't instant. They kept pushing. They kept believing. They kept fighting for the life they knew they deserved. And that is what makes them unstoppable. Because the truth is, the only way to fail is to quit. As long as you keep moving forward, you cannot lose. You might fail 10 times, but that 11th time, that might be the breakthrough. You might struggle for years, but that one moment of success, it will make everything worth it. So decide right now. Are you going to be someone who quits when it gets hard? Or are you going to be the kind of woman who refuses to back down? Because the moment you decide that quitting is not an option, the moment you commit to pushing through no matter what, that's the moment your success becomes inevitable. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to be fearless. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep going. Because every step you take, no matter how small, is bringing you closer to the life you were meant to live. So don't stop now. Don't slow down. Don't doubt yourself. Because you are stronger than you think, you are more capable than you realize, and you are meant for something bigger. Now go out there, step into your power, and show the world what you're made of. Because you are unstoppable.